Good morning. It is Monday, the 25th of November, 2019. We have a very important video on Bitcoin prices today. We've got a potential hammer reversal candle here that we're going to take a look at on the daily view. We'll go through our indicator set for Bitcoin, but most importantly is what is setting up in the altcoins. That's what I'm going to finish this video with. And if you are not prepared properly for the altcoins right now, I have the spreadsheet that's going to document exactly how you're missing out. All that and more on today's episode of the 24 Hours of Bitcoin. Let's jump into our indicator set, starting off with the weekly view of the Relative Strength Index. I always want to pay attention to what's going on, especially right now when we're hitting on these basic technical levels all the way back. Now, I really want to pay attention day by day to what each of these indicators are telling us. The weekly is right down, it's actually below where I gave it as a limit. So we're watching now, if it comes back up, I'm expecting more bearish signals. Let's zoom in and see what the daily is telling us. Super oversold. Super oversold, really quite historic in the amount of oversold territory it's come back down to. So time to watch it, but it's not the complete indicator. It doesn't really tell us when the price is going to go up. We could really diverge for a long time with the RSI and go sideways for a long time. But I do want to pay attention to every time we have this kind of reversal candle that is a potential for the turnaround. And let's see what the shorter time frames are saying. As we zoom in, we are getting a bit of a divergence here. We've got the lower lows and we've got the higher lows here in the RSI. So that's the first bit of information we can look for, but that divergence itself isn't all we need. That's a pretty good reversal though. I really want to pay attention. Let's zoom in now from the 4 hour to the 1 hour. And as we're getting in here, what I want to pay attention to is not enough yet. Zoomed in more. This is almost enough yet. Can you see it? Now this is zoomed in too much. Let's just get rid of the indicator and pay attention just to the price chart, because it always ends with a 1, 2, 3 formation. Then it turns into a larger 1, 2, 3 formation that broke higher. And then it's a larger 1, 2, 3 formation that broke higher. Then it's a larger 1, 2, 3 formation that broke higher. You see what I'm getting at here? This nested 1, 2, 3s become more and more powerful, and they always start out at the smallest time frame. We can always find that hammer reversal was a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation at some time. And now it's going to be manifesting into a longer time frame, 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. When it breaks above that, we could have another retest of a larger 1, 2, 3. And as it gets up into the 4 hour time frame, then it's getting into the time frame that I like to pay attention to. And I do much better at trading 1, 2, 3 bottoms than I do 1, 2, 3 top formations. Let's go on now to the next indicator, because that will give us more insight. We're looking into the volume now and zooming in from the weekly volume to see how it's going. And we're watching from the daily volume now. We can see that we have a dump here, less dumping here. Let's monitor to see if this does give us that divergence and a turnaround right at these key technical levels. The support and resistance in here is really amazing. We had a big reversal candle at this level before. Let's just play it out and see what happened. It's very different because this was coming up in a lot of buying action. So we're not doing a big reversal yet. We need that turnaround of the exponential moving averages. Let's zoom in and zoom in again. So we did get a sharp change in volume here. That is pretty cool on the 4 hour time frame actually. When's the last time we had a big sharp change in volume? Right there. Right on the turnarounds, when we have that sharp change in volume, especially I've found that as we go from the below zero to above zero, and the color has changed while it's in below zero before it crosses the zero line, that to me is important switch around. Let's go into the 1 hour time frame. It's not quite as clear here. A lot of dumping and then just that last little bit. A bit of buying, maybe. For me, it still needs more juice. It needs more time in that 4 hour time frame. I just want to zoom in to see the nature of this buying here, how it turned around, buying, another attempt at the selling, and now we do have, it really does look like a reversal turnaround in the buying here. Let's go into the MACD now and see what it's saying, because the weekly MACD is not giving us any turnaround. The daily is not giving us any turnaround. It is still accelerating downward. The histogram is still growing day by day. So this is not giving us any hammer reversal turnaround data that I can see here yet. As we go into the 12-hour, I'm really a friend of the 12-hour MACD. When it crosses, I'll pay attention. Everything else underneath that now has become a lot more noise. And I was expecting that the 4-hour is doing a double bottom here. Let me zoom in on just this. So we've got the cross to the positive, and it's like making a double bottom formation. It's a 1, 2, 3 in the histograms here. So if this is a turnaround right now, then we're mapping it out with the 4-hour. And I'll believe it when that 12-hour actually crosses and we have the 4-hour exponential moving average setting up and crossing. So for my own part, it's good to see, but it's going to take some juice before I'm going to get into being a bull in Bitcoin again. In the meantime, I'm super excited about the alts. Let me get through this here. 1-hour time frame. So we're seeing the higher lows. Again, this is a nice divergence. It really is the potential for a daily hammer candle reversal setting up here and being verified by the MACD. Really nice to see those indicators setting up. Now, Ichimoku Cloud is doing, I've got to find that projection where I was pointing out this level and this level as the potential reversals way back when we were having these exhaustion candles. The Ichimoku Cloud has been pointing those out for the longest time, and here they are manifesting right to the line. Now, give that to your Fibonacci, guys. Let's go on to the daily because we're not done turning around here yet. The daily has given us sell signals. It's all sell right now. So it may come up and bounce and give us another sell signal in the downtrend right now. We are not turning around. So let's zoom in on this on the 12-hour time frame. We are still in the downtrend, and I'll be expecting to look for a sell signal in the downtrend if we bounce up underneath these levels. Now let's go into the 4-hour time frame because it is still bearish. It has a lot of work to do before it's going to turn around for us. It's only in the 1-hour time frame that we're starting to get any kind of, and it's only because of this last little bit of price and this trailing indicator is coming up. So nothing really here. Now in the 15-minute time frame, this is actually the first almost a buy signal in the Ichimoku. And certainly if this were to pull back a little bit and then build and break above these levels, it would be a verified buy signal in the Ichimoku. And of course, you know, it's the larger 1, 2, 3 formation that the Ichimoku is verifying. That's what I'm looking for. And then as this verifies from time frame to time frame, as we're going into the longer time frames, then maybe we are getting the turnaround rather than, but I'll still be looking for the sell signal in the downtrend. Here in the 5-minute time frame, it did reverse with this 1, 2, 3 on the 1-minute time frame, and as it came up and broke above this 1, 2, 3, there is the verification in the Ichimoku right in here. The blue crossed above the red. We are already in a positive cloud. The trailing indicator cut through everything, and it broke above a 1, 2, 3 on this time frame. So if you are zoomed in on the charts at this time frame, all of these things do work together. The trouble is that it's a lot more high maintenance because you've got to get your stop above your entries right away or else. Now let's go into the Bollinger Bands because we are at the mean reversion turnaround for the weekly right now. And yesterday, this top band was in a more of a downtrend. Today, that weekly has turned. That little lip right there has turned. I have to review yesterday's video to see that. I love it. That's fantastic. Because if that's the case, that this is starting to give us the first turnaround news, where the other indicators are giving us in the short term. We just saw it in the weekly here. Not sitting in the daily, it's right along the edge, and I don't know when this is a mean reversion or when it's continuing down yet. I don't know. But the top didn't really go wider as this dropped down. So you tell me, you Bollinger Band guys, leave a comment in the description down below. I want to know what you know about Bollinger Bands. This is looking downtrendish to me. This is still giving that angle, and I'm just paying attention to those as we're going down against the band. Zoom in, and now we have the 4-hour mean reversion entry potential. Anything outside the band is a potential to buy, and then you, I don't know, take profit when it hits the middle of the band. You take part of your profit because it's reverted to the mean. I don't know. And now it's doing the same thing, and I'm just saying it out loud for my future self to restudy it. So the 4-hour, I don't know, it went outside of it. The 1-hour, it's crossed above the midline. The 4-hour, the 1-hour, I don't know. I'm just observing this. And then zooming in, the 15 minute, we crossed above the midline and it's up against the top band now. And here's the 5 minute. And in the 5 minute is staying up above the band. So I'm just observing this. It's not giving me anything clear that jumps out at me like the other indicators. So that's why I'm doing this on a daily basis, because the weekly has got to get up above that mid band before we're in the bull market. So all of these things need to turn around, and we need to see this in the shorter term time frames first, and then start manifesting across the longer term time frames that we have made a bottom, that we're getting up above that mean reversion. And we'll see it in the exponential moving average crossover. We'll see the 1, 2, 3 bottoms formation setups. We'll see the divergence in the RSI. And most importantly, we're going to see Ichimoku start to go positive in the longer time frames. And now let's take a look at the curious change in the number of longs and shorts over this period of time. We can see that in the last few days, the longs have dramatically increased as Bitcoin is coming down to these areas. The shorts have also really increased as well. Very interesting to see. A really interesting correlation is when I pull this back to the daily time frame, is to point out, as we crashed here last time, the longs naturally went down as the crash was happening, but as we came to this bottom, the longs really started to pick up and grow and grow and grow. So now as we've come down to this bottom, the longs have started to grow. And so I do think that we have hit something very important in the market at these levels. And we'll see if we're going to get another dip down a little bit lower and then some consolidation like we did from this point here. Because you can see the longs, I can't get this to line up properly, but the longs started to build up right here before the price actually finished dropping. So the longs started to build up right here, then prices dropped more as the longs were still building up more. So we're still not using this completely as an indicator, but just as the earliest notification that the market is starting to find a bottom. It's starting to work on it. And with this potential for the daily hammer reversal candle, important day in Bitcoin. For me, the most exciting and the most important part is the altcoins. This is what I've been doing all the preparation for. You can see that's a 1, 2, 3 top formation in Bitcoin dominance. You can see that it is nesting into a very much larger head and shoulders top formation. And I am expecting that Bitcoin dominance is going to be dropping from here and that altcoins are going to be mooning. And so we've been studying the bull market watch for more than a year, documenting all of the coins that are moving up and moving back in the bull market watch. If you've been overly focused on Bitcoin and you haven't gotten yourself completely prepared for the altcoins, we've got you covered. Head over to the website Introtocryptos.ca and check out the special report. You can just join our group for $15 a month and get access to the bull market watch spreadsheet, and you'll be up to speed. And now in review, you can see that we've got a very nice hammer reversal candle setting up here. The relative strength on the 4-hour time frame is giving us a divergence that supports this as a potential bounce. We can see that the on-balance volume is certainly setting up to show that there is supporting buying coming in along these very short-term 1, 2, 3 bottoms. The MACD indicator is giving us a divergence that we can sink our teeth into on the short-term time frames as well. The Ichimoku Cloud has turned positive on the 5-minute time frame and just starting to turn positive now on the 15-minute time frame as well. And finally, Bollinger Bands are still a mystery to me. This is a potential mean reversion off of the 4-hour time frame, but I really don't know how to tell. The main thing I'm watching for is for this to be changing in the weekly back up above this, so we'll track this over time. And I want to close with a personal note. I've had a few people asking me more about my history. When did I start trading? And do I actually trade or do I just make commentaries? And so there is a link if you go to the About section in Introtocryptos.ca, and you can click on my short story, and you'll find that I started studying trading back in 1995, and this was a picture of a similar computer to mine that when I first started trading. You can learn more about me and read my whole story there, and I'll get into this and do some updates on it too, because I haven't updated it in a while. But check it out. I appreciate you guys being here. Thanks again for joining me on this channel every day. We'll see you tomorrow on the next episode of the 24 Hours of Bitcoin.